What's up, guys? Welcome to Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig. We're going to go over the charts. I'm going to let you guys know how to enter the trading contest to win a free PS5 for the first prize. Second prize will be $250 worth of Bitcoin, and third prize will be $150 worth of Bitcoin. I'm going to show you how to join that today. We're going to take a look at the markets. I'm going to take a look at the charts, show you what I'm thinking. I had been talking a long time ago about the Amazon chart compared to Bitcoin chart, the bubble pop pattern. Bubbles usually pop. They go 90 to 95% down, sometimes only 85. We're going to take a look at what Bitcoin has done and what could possibly be coming and the exact date. Stick around for the whole video. This is going to be interesting. I may also take a look at Tesla. As you guys know, for a long time I've been saying, for 2 years, I've been saying I'm a buyer of Tesla at 50 to 60 bucks. And we'll also take a look at the XRP pattern we've been looking at for a long time. This chart is extremely old also. Definitely stick around. Let's get into it. All right, guys, as promised, the PS5 giveaway for the trading competition. This will last for 2 weeks. It starts today. Use my Prime XBT link to sign up. Make a $100 deposit. There's a link down below that brings you to this page to get entered to win, right? All you have to do, like I said, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you use my link. Make sure you make a $100 deposit. And I think your trading volume has to be around 20,000 for the whole 2 weeks, which isn't hard to do, obviously. If you trade, you understand. Anyways, that's how you do it. First prize is going to be the PS5. Second prize is going to be $250 worth of Bitcoin. Third prize is going to be $150 worth of Bitcoin. Good luck, guys. Let's get into it. So this is, obviously, on Prime XBT. This is the 4-hour chart, right? So these were our targets. I told you before we broke this, once we broke that 55.1, to watch for this 68.6, which we hit. We got back above. I said if we can maintain support on this, our next target would be 75,000. How did we get the 68,000? Well, that was just a measured move of this rising broadening wedge. We bring it up to here where it broke out, and that was an obvious break. You can see the volume there. But that got us to that target, which would have got you out of your long trade, or at least took some profits, right? Then we did get back above. Our next target, if we were able to hold above that, would be 75. We didn't quite hit that. Are we done here? It is possible. If we look at our EMAs, right? But keep in mind, we're still in between that 75 and 68.8 range. So as long as, if we can hold above this, we still have a chance to hit that 65. Depending on how you trade, if you trade the smaller time frames or whatever. But as far as I'm concerned here, I would be looking for, remember, none of this is financial advice. This is my view and my opinion of the market. But I would be putting a short in if we got back up around this 65 or 75,000. I'll also enter a short if we break below the 68, right? Looking at the EMAs, if we do continue to bounce up from here, that's going to have our 8 EMA bounce off of our 21 EMA down here, right? Or our 55 EMA, which is the yellow. So, but if they all cross down and we do get below this, once the 13, the 8, and the 21 cross this 55, open and close a candle below the 8, go back and look at my EMA strategy. All you have to do is watch, go to my YouTube channel, and you'll see the tutorials. It'll have the EMA strategy there. And if you'd have followed the EMA strategy down here when we crossed, you would have been able to ride this all up. Also, you could use it in the daily, and I think the daily is the best, and I'm going to show you that real quick. So on the daily, if we look here, once we crossed over and opened and closed above the 8 EMA, which was right here, that would have got you in at 28.3 all the way up to where we are now, right? And then the problem is you'll never catch the exact bottom doing that, but you will get profits. So if you was to do it the long term, you would buy down there at the cross, and then once they cross the 55 here, you would get out, which obviously will be a lot lower in price. But so let's take a look at right here. This is the 55 EMA in the yellow on the daily. If we do break back below here, this is going to be our target for our support right here. If we break below this at some point, this white trend line, we might break down, come back up for a retest, would be a good place to put in another short and bring it down. I still believe we're going to see much lower lows. Remember, guys, right here, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. So looking at this, here's the VPVR over on this side, the high volume node. As you can see, is right here about 97. We have another one around 35. We've talked about that plenty on this channel. But what you'll also notice is this trend line off of all these bottoms here, right? So if we look back over here at this bubble, right, the first one, you had your first push up, came down, come back up. What was the... Let's take our price range and see how far of a dip that was. That was 85%, right? The bubble pop there, 85%. And then, just like we did here, your first bump up, we had our first bump up here before our big blow off top over here. Let's take a look at what would be 85%. So we dropped 77. 85 would get us down to approximately 10,300. 95 would get us all the way down to 3,500. Remember, I've been talking about those numbers forever, although I didn't think we were going to come up and make a new all-time high, but I will show you the Amazon chart and how I'm looking at it now. But first, let's take a look at the Dow Jones. If I bring this over and we look at 1929 on the right, you'll see the resemblance here. And I've been saying, I think something big, something huge is going to happen. What exactly it is, I can't tell you because I don't know. But markets often do the same thing. You can see the pattern here. You had your high, your low, your higher high, your lower low. Big, huge blow off top and came crashing down. You think anyone thought that was going to happen up here? Probably not. You think this big rally right here made everyone happy and think it was going to continue up? Probably so. We'll probably have one of those on our way down, but I still believe the biggest money grab in history is coming. Huge opportunity. It's not something to fear. It is something to look forward to, in my opinion, because everything will be extremely cheap. I still believe this is going to happen. Just my timing was off. But let's take a look at the exact date, right? So if this was going to happen, when would that be? Let's put a... Do we have a... We don't have really a way to put the date in, but that would be approximately August of 2025 when we bottom here, if this is to happen. We'll be keeping a close eye on that, obviously. Let's take a look at the Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. So I was looking at it as this top, being this top here, right? This top here, I was looking at it as this top and expected this to come way down. Although we made a lot of money off of this drop, right? But I think what's really looking at this, I think this is just this third high right here. And this is our major downside to around that 9,700, possibly as low as 35. I don't know if it'll actually go to 35, but 9,700, there's a lot of confluence right there with trend lines, high volume nodes, just a lot of volume here, right? So also looking at it here, you can see here's that first blip up before the big blow off top, right? Same thing right here. What does a bubble do? It comes down to where it began. And I've been saying that for a long time. We didn't quite make it here, but I still think we'll get down to this high volume node unless I'm totally wrong and this thing just goes flying up to $1 million per Bitcoin like people talk about, right? But I still think in all reality that this thing has a lot more downside to come. Here's the NASDAQ or the SPY. S&P, right? This is where I told you in my last video, I think I told you that last week, around 51.71 should be the top. If this does hold up as resistance, if that happens, then we're coming down. Our next point of support is going to be around 3,500, somewhere in that range. If that breaks, it could get really ugly, right? NASDAQ. So if NASDAQ did the same thing, we could get as high as 21. Depending on what the traditionals do, if the traditionals start crashing, I highly doubt that's going to happen. But let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla, way back here when this broke, I had told you guys, I gave you these blue targets. And that was back, when was this? 2022 in September, right? Once that broke, Told you watch for bounce points here and come back up and retest this trend line. And that's exactly what we did. And then we made a giant rising channel or bear flag, however you want to look at this. But the measured move of that bear flag from where it broke down, right? We tried to get back into it, could not. Get you to about 49 bucks, somewhere in there. So between 40, 50, 60 bucks in that range, I'll probably be buying a lot of Tesla. I'm not telling you to. I'm telling you what I've been talking about for a very long time. But we did hit our major bounce point here. These are still going to be good bounce areas, right? That 151. It didn't bounce much here, but once it came up, it retested it. So you may get a bounce here, but once this breaks, your next target's going to be that 106 again. Once that 106 breaks, look for that 40 to 50 bucks, somewhere in that range. XRP, this is pretty crazy because we've been looking at this chart since like 2021, right? Calling it it's dying out like a penny stock does, right? Just lower and lower bounces. And these are all news bounces. And, you know, there's always some kind of hype following them. So I call this top line my hype line, right? We hit it here, hit it again here. We haven't quite hit it here, but we've had that target of 76.4 or 76 cents, right around that range for quite a long time. We've almost hit it. Could that be it? Possibly. But if we get that one more push up for Bitcoin, we may get one more push up for XRP. But after that, my target has still been, for the last 2 years, 4 to 26 cents. I still believe that is a very good possibility. Unless we break above this, right? Then I could be totally wrong about XRP. If we break above this, get support, and then go to looking at this as a big triangle breakout, and we go to $4, right? I don't see that happening. Not saying it's not a possibility, but I still believe this is going to be major resistance here. Unless that breaks, we could be looking for a 4 to 26 cent XRP. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, smash the thumbs up, share the video. Make sure you join the trading competition. I will leave that link down below. Tell your friends, share in your groups. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, guys. I'm out. Have an awesome week.